Hey there, and happy Friday. I'm Fox 13 meteorologist Nash Rhodes, and welcome to another episode of SkyTower Weather Now. We come on here weekdays at 3 o'clock and give you updates on what's happening across our state, from weather to photos sent in by viewers to even what's happening in other parts of the country, sometimes even internationally if the weather news is big enough. But locally today, the big story has been the rain. We started the morning off with showers and storms, and the best part of today's forecast is a lot of that rain was positioned along the coastline. I'm going to send it out to live views from around the region. This is Serrata Beach. You'd be hard-pressed to tell me that there are any showers today based on this view, but this is looking due west. A few hours ago, there was quite a bit of rainfall being picked up on this camera, so the rain has cleared out, the humidity has stayed, the temperatures have warmed up, and then we have views like this. This is Palmetto, County Road 683, a lot of rain on the road. You see it getting kicked up by the cars. It was hard to see some of those distant trees on the right side of the road about 15 minutes ago. It was coming down so heavily. Parts of Manatee and Sarasota County have picked up over 2 inches of radar estimated rain, some spots closer to 3, and that is fantastic news because, as we'll dive in just a moment, those are the same places that have been impacted by quite a bit of drought, level 4 out of 5 to be exact. Here's the bigger picture though as we pull this back out. I'm going to see if we can get our radar pulled up here momentarily. Flipping to that, we've got a cold front we're watching to our north and west, and we'll have more on that in just a moment. But here's how the radar is looking. Very busy. Pop-up showers, sparsely populated across the radar site. In fact, a lot of open space where spots aren't seeing rain, but all this is moving from west to east or west to northeast. And if anything, it is moving pretty slowly, 10 to 15 miles per hour, the speed of these current showers. I'm going to pull up full screen and see if I can give you an update on where the heaviest of those downpours are right now. Out to Bradenton and Palmetto we go. These are the showers we were looking at just a moment ago, passing due east now of Erie. They're going to make their way to Willow and perhaps Bunker Hill next. Oak Knoll and Bethany. One small little thunderstorm has gone up over you. That is passing over County Road 64 and is going to continue tracking due east. I believe that's State Road 64. Either way, powerful storms are expected to briefly form and then quickly rain themselves out in today's conditions. Stronger storms are expected heading into tomorrow morning as a cold front will be passing through the area. I'm going to punch myself up in the corner so you get a closer view at all the storms that I'm tracking. Farther to the south toward Mayaca City, which got slammed with rain yesterday, you have a light to moderate downpour passing by right now, and if anything, just skimming the north side of the city. You may have seen some rain just a moment ago, as this is a 30-minute lapse, I believe. Out towards Brownville, picking up some rain. Zolfo Springs, dry at the moment, but look off to your west. All this stuff near Oak Knoll and Bethany is going to be tracking due east next. Fort Greene Springs, Bowling Green, light rain in your area. Bartow, one little cell has just popped up over you. It's going to move over US 98 next and perhaps continue tracking due east if that holds together. That would make its way towards maybe Lake Wales or Lake of the Hills next, but that has quite a ways to go if it is to build. Galloway, Foxtown, heavy rain near you. Plant City, this is really tracking on the northern edge of your communities and going to be moving east of Knights here shortly. Galloway and downtown Lakeland, your rain chances are starting to rise. In fact, I like this new scan coming in from SkyTower Radar. Look at this shower back building here south of Galloway into Winston. If that trend continues and we see this development working a little bit more this way, then this has a better chance of skimming right through downtown Lakeland in the next 15 minutes or so, and they certainly need some of that rainfall as well. I'm going to eliminate that drawing from the screen so you don't have to look at my chicken scratch anymore. Up to the north and west, Zephyr Hills, a stray shower moving away from you and kind of back building on top of the city right now, but that's just a little speck in the scheme of things. And otherwise, the only other rain showers we're tracking are farther to the north and west. Berkeley, look at this, east of Hernando Beach. One little cell has come on shore and is actually strengthening at this point in time. It's crossing US 19. This is going to be moving into the Willow Sink community next. Very isolated there. I wouldn't be shocked if it quickly rains out here soon. And then up to the north over Floral City, which saw quite a bit of rain yesterday. More heavy showers over US 41 there in Citrus County, with everyone else looking fairly dry at the moment. But there's your big picture. Most of the rain this morning was smack dab along the coast. I had mentioned spots like Sarasota County and even into Manatee County and southern Hillsborough County. We had quite a bit of rainfall in a short period of time. And moving forward, that's fantastic news because look at where our drought index is right now. This was updated yesterday and takes into account data actually 3 days ago, I believe, and from that point onward, all that rain is supplemental and hasn't been added into this data set, but it's going to look a little bit different the next time it updates, specifically because of the rain showers we saw today and will be seeing moving into tomorrow morning. That level 4 out of 5 extreme drought now encompassing Sarasota and Port Charlotte. That skims western DeSoto and Hardee counties. And then we have that level 3 out of 5 drought extending up through St. Pete, Tampa, Pinellas County, back up into Pasco and Hernando County, and then wrapping back to the northeast into sections of Citrus County, but mainly Sumter County. I've got the drought monitor comparison to show you the before and after, and the biggest change here is just the extension of the extreme drought here versus here. You notice it's extended a little bit to the north and west. We also saw that level 3 out of 5 drought extend over Pinellas County and back off to the north and east. So today we have had a westerly flow, and what that means is winds are primarily out of the west. That has directly affected our typical rain pattern, the sea breeze pattern that we've been tracking today. It's led to more morning coastal showers because the Gulf waters are a little bit cooler as we get into the afternoon than our warming up inland zones. The warm air over the land, and because of that, that cooler air over the waters gets blown inland with that westerly flow. That provides the lift for showers and storms to form. In the morning time, those form along the coastline and then quickly spread inland, and that's what we're going to be seeing over the next few hours, that focus along and east of I-75, and more of those showers tapering off and moving to the east side of the state as we head into the evening time today. Moving forward with the Fox model, this is what it thinks. In fact, it brings a lot of that rain to the east coast very quickly, diminishing a lot of the showers we're seeing right now. I wouldn't get too caught up in how quickly they disappear, but know that's the trend, things moving to the east side of the state into the evening. And then as we dry things out, moving into the early hours of tomorrow morning, 1, 2 o'clock, pop-up rain chances return to the picture, and then we'll be looking to the north and west for bigger rain chances as the sun rises. We'll be tracking those out for you in just a moment, but for today, a 1 out of 5 marginal severe weather outlook, and this is primarily for the threat of damaging straight-line winds. The tornado threat today is on the low side of things. It's never completely zero. We did have a brief water spout, although it did not appear to be a tornadic water spout from one of the storms that came on shore earlier today. That was just off of Anna Maria Island. But again, the tornado threat for today on the low side, the hail threat awfully low as well. It is primarily that straight line wind threat, and that's going to be on the leading edge of the cold front, mainly heading into the early hours of tomorrow morning. So some weird timing moving forward with when we can expect the biggest impacts from those showers and storms. Right now, up and down the Sunshine State, 80s and 90s. The warmest spots missing out on most of the showers, although here in Tampa we did have some rain earlier. Wesley Chapel at 90 as well. 91 in Winter Haven with some showers headed your way. Hopefully we get some natural air conditioning there soon. The humidity is not doing us any favors. Look at Sebring, 80 for the dew point there. Palmdale 73, Wauchula 76, Tampa 75. The dew point scale, we are all the way back at the top of things. And if you tuned in yesterday, we're just showing you this graphic again to reiterate that it is absolutely humid as you step outside. And even with that 90-degree temperature, the humidity is making it feel like the triple digits in Tampa, Clearwater, and Newport Richey. 102 in Newport Richey specifically, with Wauchula at 103, Sebring 99, Northport and Venice, a heat index value between 100 and 102 degrees. Tonight, low temperatures will start to dwindle down to the upper 70s for the most part. I think that we pump the brakes here in downtown Tampa at 79. There will be spots that might level out at about 80 degrees for a low tonight. In fact, Venice here at 81, for instance. 77 in Northport, mid to low 70s as you go east of I-75 with those developing rain chances, mainly in the later hours of tonight or early hours of tomorrow morning before sunrise, if you want to look at it that way. Partly to increasing clouds, maybe mostly cloudy skies overnight tonight. So why are we bumping up those rain chances in a big way? Well, we are tracking a cold front, and while it is going to drop our temperatures, it's not going to make a dramatic change. More importantly, it's going to bring us widespread and evenly spread rain chances tomorrow. It's also going to usher in slightly lower humidity as we head into the beginning of next week and just make things feel much better for your end of the weekend plans, specifically Sunday and Monday. Target those 2 days to do things rather than Saturday, because this is what we have on the docket for tomorrow. 9 a.m. here, a line of showers and storms, and likely a broken line at that. Probably not as organized as what the Fox weather model is showing, but it does a good job with the timing here. Right around and after sunrise, those showers push through. On the back edge of those thunderstorms, we get some stratiform rain chances as the last bit of that cold front works its way through central Florida. It will be weak at that time, dissolving as it pushes farther to the south, and we'll just stick with stray shower chances to close things out Saturday, heading into Sunday morning. Looking ahead on the latest update here, we just saw that front passing through. I do want to get the weekend forecast up because I know a lot of you have been waiting for this screen grab right here. Saturday and Sunday, 87 degrees on Saturday, 88 on Sunday, but the most important thing is this number right here. We go from 60% chances for rain to 20% chances as we move into Sunday. Big drop off in that. Drier air moving in the upper levels of the atmosphere. We have a big digging trough. That's that counterclockwise motion around that low pressure system in the upper levels of our atmosphere. As that passes through and the cold front pushes through the region, Monday we will have drier air in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere working its way down into Florida. And that's going to not just drop our humidity down at the surface, but it's also going to lower the rain chances that we have in the days to come. Here's what I'm talking about with the 7-day forecast. We go from a 60% chance of rain on Saturday down to 20 on Sunday, Monday, and even Tuesday, a 10% chance of rain, looking mostly dry, sun and clouds, and even mostly sunny skies not out of the question for parts of Sunday and Monday. Wednesday and Thursday afternoon, more isolated rain showers and perhaps some storms, with most of that focused inland, will be on the horizon. High temperatures gradually climb out of the hole of the upper 80s we'll find ourselves in on Saturday. Back to the mid to low 90s we go at 92 degrees that following Thursday. I'm showing you a live look on your screen. This is satellite imagery, not in the Atlantic, but in the Pacific. Yesterday, we got our first named storm of the season there. This is Tropical Storm Alvin. This has been the popular talking point online, so I'm going to give you the latest on Alvin and also the latest on our Atlantic hurricane season right after this quick break. Well, welcome back. You're looking at enhanced satellite imagery across the United States. Thunderstorms brewing up across Georgia, the Carolinas, just off the coast of Texas there in the Gulf, and even some more showers spreading across the Northeast. But our focus now shifting to not our local tropics, but off on the west side of the country. We are in the Pacific Basin, which uses a completely different naming list than us. We are tracking the first named storm of their hurricane season. That is Tropical Storm Alvin. It was designated Alvin yesterday, and look at how this looks on visible satellite imagery. Alvin, of course, not going to bring any issues for us, but I am addressing this because a lot of folks have been asking me, is this affecting our season? Does this have anything to do with the Atlantic? It does not, but it is interesting, and right now Alvin is actually weakening in comparison to how it looked yesterday. Alvin will be tracking due north over the next few days before weakening substantially into the beginning of next week. It will be entering into cooler waters, as we'll look at in just a moment. And Tropical Storm Alvin right now packing sustained winds of 50 miles per hour. That movement to the northwest at 10 miles per hour, and it's expected to get close to Baja California in a very high confidence forecast that'll take it that direction, but weaken it quite a bit. Look at the latest update from the National Hurricane Center. It knocks those winds down to 30 miles per hour and eventually just weakens it entirely into a post-tropical low pressure system as it approaches Mexico. Here's the latest look at water temperatures to really paint the picture for you. The bright reds in pinks on your screen, those are water temperatures with sea surface temperatures at or above 80 degrees. As this drifts to the north, it's going to be entering into cooler waters that are all the way down to the upper 70s. That is not very, or excuse me, the upper 60s. That is not very supportive of a tropical storm or hurricane trying to strengthen or get its act together. In this case, this is just barely holding on to tropical storm status, and over the next 48 hours, I'd expect a big weakening trend and just ample rain chances for the coastline of Mexico, and then eventually some gusty winds as this pushes on shore. The Fox model has a good handle on the weakening phase of this. Saturday here at 8 a.m., a much more diffused center. The winds here, not much stronger than 30 to 40 miles per hour. And then it just keeps getting weaker, more lopsided, more disorganized. And then it is unrecognizable by its wind field here into Sunday. The last bit of this passing into Mexico. And either way, that big weakening trend is on the way. And Alvin will be a short-lived storm when we're looking back at the Pacific hurricane season. Now for us, we're 2 days away from our official start of the hurricane season. That comes on Sunday. And I'm really liking the trends that I'm seeing in our long-range forecast models. No tropical formation is expected over the next 7 days. There are a variety of factors that's making that possible, but a few of them I want to point out to you. One being the increased amount of wind shear in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. Wind shear is bad for the formation of hurricanes and tropical storms. It's good for us. We like a lot of wind shear to keep the activity suppressed in the main development region out there in the middle of the Atlantic. And as you can see, we at least have moderate wind shear stemming across much of that area, all the way through the Caribbean where there's high shear right now, and then sections of the Gulf of Mexico. Another factor being a lot of Saharan dust. It's actually rolling right off of Africa. It originates right around here, gets swept up by those trade winds, brought aloft, and that dry air is not easy to get a tropical storm or hurricane to develop in. You really have to have the right conditions come into play, and that just adds another layer of difficulty in getting the season started. This substantial plume of Saharan dust is expected to push into the Lesser Antilles before becoming quite a bit weaker by the time it approaches us. It will eventually sneak into the Gulf of America, but by the time it does that, look at the turning that it does, the spreading, the weakening, and if anything, we could have some minor influences from that Saharan dust by the end of the weekend here in Florida. That would just make our sunrises and sunsets a little bit more vivid and perhaps very slightly, and I mean slightly, impact the air quality depending on how substantial or unsubstantial this plume turns out to be. When there's a bigger plume on the way for us and it's going to bring more big impacts to our forecasting, I'll be sure to let you know, but that'll be something interesting to look in on tomorrow because our friends down in the Lesser Antilles and perhaps even Puerto Rico will start to see some of the influences there as that plume will be a little bit more robust overhead for them. Here is the 2025 hurricane season outlook from NOAA. This was put out, I believe, less than a week ago, and their forecast calls for an above normal season with a 60% chance of that actually happening, a near normal season at 30%, and a 10% chance of a below normal season. I've reworked it into this pie chart to paint the picture that we are expecting at least a near or above average season. But either way, heading into any hurricane season, you should treat it all the same. Whether we get a ton of storms or hardly any storms, it's where those storms form that matters. And it just takes one storm, and even last year, 2 or 3, as we found out, to bring devastating impacts to us. Some of our most active seasons on record have brought storms very far away from our coastline, and you could hardly tell here in Florida. And there have been other seasons that have been very inactive. My mind goes to Hurricane Andrew, for instance, where it just took one major hurricane then to bring substantial impacts to us. And apart from that, it was a very quiet season all around. Tropical activity typically increases as we get into August, September, and October, with 34% of all tropical activity, climatologically speaking and statistically speaking, happening in September, October, and November. We drop those odds down quite a bit and then get to the end of the season by the end of November. Here's the 2025 Atlantic hurricane and tropical storm naming list. Should say, I guess, subtropical storm too. Just in general, the storm naming list for this year. Andrea, Barry, Chantal, the first 3 names up. Dexter, Aaron, and Ferdinand, the next 3. Hopefully we don't get too much farther beyond that, but we will see. Olga, Pablo, Rebecca toward the end of the list. Van and Wendy round out this year's names. Well, we're looking at radar here, and the Sunshine State is certainly not living up to its name this afternoon. Still hot and humid, and the sun's poking out from time to time, but a lot of showers to sift through. Coming up, we'll take another look at the forecast and dive into SkyTower radar with even some of our sky cams in the region. We'll also have your latest boating forecast, because I know a lot of you are interested in getting in and out on the water once we get to the end of this cold front, this wet stretch that we've been on. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this quick break. Welcome back. You're looking at a live camera. It updates every few minutes, but still giving us the latest shot here from Bayonet Point. Look at that heavy rain coming down. That new update showing even some fanning down at the surface. What that indicates to me is all that cooler air rushing down with the rain there in Bayonet Point is hitting the ground and then spreading out evenly. So probably some gusty winds on the leading edge of that thunderstorm. In fact, let's head over to radar now if we can and see where those showers and storms are right now. I've got a closer view here. That one we're looking at from Bayonet Point likely passing just south of the city. We've got more to the north up near Hernando Beach and heavier showers even offshore. A few cloud-to-ground lightning strikes with these, indicating that there is some life in the atmosphere. Some isolated storms not out of the question for the next few hours in this region. And I'm going to circle this whole spot here from Hernando Beach down through Tarpon Springs and just highlight that there will be an increased rain chance, if you can't tell here, for at least the next hour or so as these do push through. You won't be seeing rain the entire time, but that window is increasing. And just off the shoreline there at Bayonet Point, heavier rain is on the way. We'll see if it holds together. These have been very pop-up oriented showers. They're not very long-lasting rain chances. And the deeper they've gone inland, a lot of them have looked a lot weaker. Other showers that we have are out into Polk County. Lakeland, that thunderstorm we were tracking 10 minutes ago, looks like it's just going to skim the north side of the city. Off to the east into Davenport, more rain headed to you next. Eagle Lake, Haines City, heavy showers in the vicinity. Bloomingdale, heavy rain over you, passing on the south and east side of Brandon. Tarpon Springs, light rainfall coming off the Gulf in your direction. Then otherwise, we'll round things out here in Manatee and Hardee counties where there are thunderstorms in the vicinity. Nothing particularly strong at this time, but hey, we'll take any rain that we can get. Weekend forecast showing highs dip into the upper 80s with lower rain chances moving into Sunday. A cold front will also drop the humidity just a bit, so it's going to feel nicer out there. You'll also notice that if you're going boating, the boating forecast improving substantially from Saturday into Sunday. So if you have your pick of the litter, go for Sunday for those outdoor plans. And this extends beyond just boating on a light or small craft, but also if you're planning on going kayaking or jogging. Try and get those plans done on Sunday rather than Saturday. I'm going to leave you with the 7-day forecast. Thank you so much for tuning in to SkyTower Weather Now. We'll be back hopefully tracking some more rain chances next week across Central Florida.